I want to tell you about a thief. Not the kind that comes in the night and steals what you have already built. Not the kind you can identify, confront, or protect yourself against with locks and vigilance. This thief is far more sophisticated than that. Far more patient. Far more destructive than any external enemy you will ever face. Because this thief steals not what you have built, but what you were going to build. Not the life you are living, but the life you were meant to live. Not the money in your pocket, but the fortune that was within your reach. Not the man you are, but the man you were becoming before this thief slowly interrupted your momentum and weakened your direction so gradually that you did not even realize the robbery was taking place. This thief has a name, and the name is procrastination. And before you decide that you already understand procrastination, before your mind says, yes, I know this problem, I have heard this conversation before, I want you to listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you about procrastination goes far deeper than time management, far deeper than productivity systems, far deeper than motivation. I am going to tell you what procrastination actually is, where it comes from, what it is protecting, and what it costs, not merely in hours lost, but in life lost. Because procrastination is not simply delay, it is the slow assassination of potential. And then I am going to give you the one thing that defeats procrastination permanently, not temporarily, not for a few motivated days. Permanently, that thing is decision, not intention, not motivation, not wishing, decision, the real thing. The complete thing, the kind of decision that ends internal debate and releases the full force of a man's energy toward action. I have studied hundreds of the most successful men and women of my generation, and I discovered something extraordinary. The ability to make prompt, firm decisions appeared in every single one of them, without exception. Not reckless decisions, not impulsive decisions. Prompt decisions, made clearly once the necessary information was available, held firmly once committed to, and revised only when genuine new information required revision. This quality appeared again and again and again, and its absence appeared just as consistently in men who failed. The successful man decides. The drifting man delays. That is one of the clearest distinctions I have ever observed. Tonight I want to build in you the decision-making faculty of the great achiever, the ability to decide, to commit, to move, to stop negotiating endlessly with yourself, because the man who cannot decide cannot build. Let us begin. Part 1. What procrastination really is. Most men believe procrastination is laziness. It is not. Most men believe procrastination is poor discipline. That is only partially true. Most men believe procrastination is a failure of scheduling or productivity. No, those are surface symptoms. Procrastination is something far deeper. Procrastination is the refusal to decide. That is what it is at its root. Not the refusal to act, the refusal to decide. Because at the center of every procrastination is a decision that has not been fully made, a commitment not completed, a line not crossed internally. Think about the things you have been postponing, the business you have not started, the conversation you have not had, the plan you keep thinking about but never fully commit to. Now ask yourself honestly, is the real problem that you do not know what to do, or is the real problem that you have not decided to do it? In most cases, the answer is painfully obvious. The man already knows. He simply has not committed. And because he has not committed, his energy remains divided. Part of him moving forward, part of him remaining where he is. And divided energy creates paralysis. This is why procrastination feels exhausting. Because the undecided mind carries enormous psychological tension. Every unfinished decision becomes a silent weight, a constant drain on mental and emotional energy. The man carrying years of unmade decisions is not merely delayed. He is burdened by unfinished commitments, unresolved choices, accumulated avoidance. This is the true cost of procrastination. Not merely lost time, lost power, because the undecided man leaks energy constantly. Now listen carefully. Intention is not decision. Most men confuse the two. Intention feels productive. Decision creates movement. Intention says I should probably do this. Decision says this is happening. Intention negotiates. Decision commits. And the moment true decision occurs, something changes psychologically. The internal debate ends. Resistance weakens. Energy consolidates. Forward momentum appears. You know this feeling if you have ever truly decided something. The moment the choice became complete. The moment action suddenly felt inevitable instead of difficult. That is decision. And decision is the master key to defeating procrastination. Part 2. Why men procrastinate. Now let us go deeper. Why do men procrastinate? Not the surface reasons, the real reasons, the uncomfortable reasons. The first reason is fear of being wrong. Every significant decision contains risk, and the man who has suffered painful consequences from past decisions begins associating decision with danger, so he delays, avoids, waits, hoping certainty will arrive before action becomes necessary. But certainty rarely arrives first. It usually arrives after action. The man who acts gains information. The man who delays gains anxiety. And understand this clearly. The refusal to decide is itself a decision. A decision to remain where you are. A decision to continue leaking energy. A decision to delay the life you could already be building. The second reason men procrastinate is fear of criticism. Most men are not controlled by reality. They are controlled by imagined judgment. What will people think? What if I fail publicly? What if I look foolish? And so they remain invisible. Understand this clearly. Every extraordinary achievement in history was criticized before it was admired. The crowd always doubts before it applauds. If you require universal approval before you act, you will never build anything extraordinary. The third reason is attached to comfort. The mind prefers familiarity, even painful familiarity. The known misery often feels safer than the unknown possibility of growth. This is why men stay in jobs they hate, relationships they have outgrown, lives they secretly know are beneath their potential. Comfort becomes a prison disguised as safety, and procrastination becomes the guard standing at the prison gate. Now let me tell you something important. Procrastination is rarely logical. It is emotional. The procrastinating man often possesses enough knowledge already, enough skill already, enough opportunity already. But emotionally, he has not crossed the line into commitment. And until that line is crossed, no amount of productivity advice will permanently solve the problem. Because the problem is not organization. The problem is decision. Part 3. The cost of delay. I want to speak now about the true cost of procrastination. Because most men underestimate it completely. They think they are merely postponing action. No, they are postponing identity. Every delayed decision delays the man they could become. Every postponed action delays momentum. Every avoided commitment weakens self-trust. And self-trust is everything. Because when a man repeatedly avoids necessary action, something dangerous happens psychologically. He stops believing himself. He says tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. Nothing happens. He says next week. Nothing happens. Eventually, his own subconscious mind no longer trusts his promises. And once self-trust weakens, confidence collapses with it. This is why procrastination becomes so destructive. Not because tasks remain unfinished, because identity begins weakening. The procrastinating man secretly knows he is not moving, and that knowledge creates guilt, frustration, self-disappointment, and eventually resignation. Now listen carefully. Time compounds. Every delayed decision carries invisible consequences. The business not started, the skill not learned, the relationship not pursued, the opportunity missed. All of these accumulate silently behind procrastination. Most men dramatically underestimate what a single year of decisive action could produce, and dramatically underestimate what a single year of procrastination can destroy. Because drift compounds too. Now let me speak directly to the man listening tonight who has been delaying something important. You already know what it is. You have thought about it repeatedly. The business, the conversation, the commitment, the change, the action. You already know, and every day you delay it. Part of your energy remains trapped there, waiting. The cost is higher than you think, not because time is passing, because your life is. The power of decision. Now let us speak about power. Because true decision is power. The moment a man genuinely decides, energy changes immediately. Clarity appears, movement begins, momentum returns. I have seen men trapped in confusion for years suddenly transform within days after making one complete decision. Not because circumstances changed instantly, because direction changed instantly. Decision organizes the mind. The undecided man scatters energy. The decisive man concentrates it, and concentrated energy becomes force. This is why definiteness of purpose matters so deeply. A man with a definite purpose makes decisions faster because his purpose eliminates unnecessary choices. His standards already exist. His direction already exists. The drifting man negotiates endlessly because no central purpose governs his decisions. Now let me tell you another truth. Decision builds courage, not the other way around. Most men wait to feel courageous before acting. That is backward. Courage appears through movement. The man who acts while afraid becomes brave through action. The man who waits for fear to disappear rarely moves at all. Act first. Confidence follows evidence, and evidence is produced only through action. Part 5. How to develop decis vicinus. Now let me give you the process. First, define the decision clearly. Vague thinking creates vague action. Write the decision down specifically. What exactly are you deciding? What exactly will change? What exactly will you do? Precision creates clarity. Second, gather the necessary information. Not endless information, necessary information. The man searching forever for more certainty is usually disguising fear as preparation. At some point, enough information exists, and action must begin. Third, decide quickly once sufficient information is available. Do not endlessly reopen closed questions. Trust your reasoning process. Decide. Fourth, act immediately. This is critical. Action seals decisions psychologically. The moment the decision is made, move. Send the message. Make the call. Start the work. Take the first step immediately. Because immediate action signals seriousness to your subconscious mind. Fifth, hold the decision firmly. Doubt will come. Discomfort will come. Resistance will come. This does not mean the decision was wrong. It means the decision is real. Do not confuse discomfort with misalignment. Growth often feels uncomfortable precisely because it is growth. Part 6. Decision and the subconscious mind. Now let us speak about the subconscious mind, because procrastination is conditioning. Every time you delay important action, you train your subconscious mind toward hesitation. You teach yourself avoidance. You reinforce indecision. And eventually procrastination becomes automatic. But the opposite is also true. Every prompt decision retrains the mind toward action. Every completed commitment strengthens self-trust. Every decisive movement conditions confidence. This is why decisiveness becomes easier over time, because repetition creates identity. The decisive man is not necessarily born decisive. He practiced decisiveness repeatedly until it became automatic, and you can do the same. One decision at a time, one action at a time, one commitment at a time. Part 7. The decisive man. Let me describe the decisive man. He moves with clarity. He does not endlessly explain himself. He does not constantly seek permission. He consults wisely, thinks carefully, and then commits fully. When obstacles appear, he adjusts quickly. But he does not collapse emotionally every time difficulty appears, because he understands something most men never learn. Difficulty is not evidence you should stop. Difficulty is evidence you are moving. The decisive man becomes trustworthy because his word means something. When he says he will act, he acts. When he commits, he follows through. And this reliability creates power. People trust decisive men. Opportunity trusts decisive men. Life responds differently to decisive men because decisiveness creates momentum, and momentum attracts opportunity. Part 8. The Direct Challenge. Now I want to challenge you directly. What have you been postponing? Not the small things, the important thing, the thing you think about repeatedly, the thing quietly draining your energy, the thing you know matters. Decide today, not eventually, not when conditions improve, not when fear disappears. Today. Because whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But between conceiving and achieving there is one critical moment. Decision. The moment commitment becomes real. The moment thought becomes movement. The moment intention becomes action. That moment is available to you now. Take it. Closing. The master key. I have spent this time with you on decision because decision's the hinge upon which all achievement turns. Without decision, desire remains fantasy. Without decision, plans remain paper. Without decision, faith remains emotion. Without decision, potential remains trapped inside imagination forever. Decision converts thought into reality. It is the bridge between vision and achievement. Develop it, practice it, strengthen it daily. Because the quality of your life will ultimately reflect the quality of your decisions. Decide now. Act now. Begin now. God bless you. Go do the work.